I wish I had seen the beginning of Jacob's presentation because I only saw the end. I know it had something to do with domain names. For those of you that don't know, I've been in the NFT business for 33 years because domain names are non-fungible digital assets on a distributed ledger called the DNS system. So that's me. But yeah, so what is WoW though? WoW is an AI company. Our mission is to be one of the main primary facilitators in putting AI agents to work for every human and company on Earth. So what do? We build AI agents and technologies to help them proliferate. Let's talk about the Web3 world first, because most of the people here are in Web3. In Web3, we do automated KOLs, or for non-Americans, automated influencers. So these are agents that'll post on social media, reply on social media, and do those sorts of things. We call our tech intelligent engagement because, in fact, like those automated KOLs, it's not just a single agent. There might be one agent that follows the news, another agent that will follow the person, will read everything that the person is about to reply to has ever said. So another agent can put it in context in order to maximize the engagement of that user. And then another agent that watches the KPIs in order to make sure that it got the engagement or how the whole thing can improve. So that's what we call intelligent engagement. And that was also kind of an explanation of swarms and teams, how like it's never really one agent. There might be 500 or 600 agents involved, and the user's actually just interacting with like captain agents, so to speak. We're also rolling out intelligent LP management. So for example, on Uniswap, you have the Uniswap V4 hooks, and we can use AI to automate those hooks in order to maximize the yield on the liquidity pools, to grow the liquidity pools, or to buy back tokens, or to do whatever the owner of the agent wants it to do. And but the big things coming soon. Kind of the main purpose of this presentation is because we are going to come out with a launchpad in about a month, so anybody can launch an agent. That's also inclusive of a website and a store and all kinds of things. And of course, a Web2 agent marketplace that'll have both apps that we build and apps that other people build. And there's an infinite number of apps that you can do. Like I was actually just thinking about, right before I got on stage, about how cool it would be if there was an AI agent that recorded me, or I could send a recording of me giving this speech, and then it could tell me how I could have done it better. What does a speaking coach cost? Like $2,000 an hour? It'd be nice to just have an agent say, this is what you could have looked like. So this is just a funny example of how intelligent engagement, automated KOL thing can work. So we have Trump.ai, and this is an example of me bribing the President of the United States. You probably don't need an AI to do that. It's probably easier than that. But in this case, we have a drop-down menu that I could have chosen mock, I could have chosen troll, I chose adore, and then I wanted to adore me at Rick Latona. And I just said, tell Rick how great he is every time he posts or replies to something. So now I can now pay that agent and bribe it to where for 7 days, no matter what I post on X, Trump will be right behind me telling me how awesome I am. That comes out like next week. We really hope it goes viral. There'll be links saying, why am I seeing this? And people can go and they can say stop, because we don't want to get arrested for cyberbullying. Or they can also hopefully decide they're going to do it to all their friends too. So nodes are what I really want to talk about. Most people here probably know what nodes are. There's all kinds of nodes. Like obviously Bitcoin, a miner is technically a node. In Ethereum, you have nodes that validate the transactions, and they are in Ethereum for doing that. You have RPC nodes, you have all kinds of nodes. Why would WoW have a node? I mean, Jesus Christ, that text is big. I got to back up here. So to ensure that users have high quality experience is the main reason. Over time, we're going to push more and more of the network onto the nodes and the revenue. And also another huge reason we want to have a node is to work towards decentralization. Silly that we are a Web3 company. This is a Web3 convention. So the goal is to have the whole thing completely decentralized at one point in the future. So what are the nodes actually going to do? We've come up with what we call agentic governance. So governance is a real pain for, most people never vote if they have their tokens staked, or they'll delegate the votes to somebody else. In this case, the AI agent will vote for you based upon the preferences you set in your node software. And you'll get a message once a day on WhatsApp or Telegram saying, these are the votes I'm going to do. If you disagree with me, just tell me. You got 24 hours. Then you can just simply reply to your nodes and say, no, I want you to do this a different way. This is to ensure that the launchpad actually has high quality products on it, and there's not just 75,000 more Trump tokens that you could just say, no, I don't want more of these. And the agents will also be doing social profiling on everybody who pays an application fee to launch on the launchpad. That application fee, of course, will flow to the nodes. And so, the AI will be trying to see if this is a known scammer or a rug puller or whatever, and scoring the person, and you'll basically be controlling who gets to launch. So, of course, we'll have a token that flows to those nodes. 50% of the tokens are going to flow to the nodes. 20% are going to go to the community fund, which I'm going to talk about a lot because the way we're handling it, we think we're pretty excited about it. 20% will be put aside for liquidity and exchange listings. This is, of course, about the WOW token. And the company will keep 10% locked over years for staking. So we plan to scan up to 50,000 nodes with early adopters benefiting from lower entry costs. The basic structure is we have 5,000 nodes, mostly already pre-sold to our early investors of the company. Basically, the waterfall was they got first right, and then our partner companies that we work with got second right, and then the employees and owners can buy up the rest. If somebody wants to buy a ton of nodes, we can talk. But the main launch, which is happening now, we also have 5,000 nodes set aside for strategic deal making. And then we're going to sell basically 35,000 nodes, starting at $1,000 each, going up $10 every 100 nodes. And we just started yesterday, so they're still pretty close to that $1,000 mark. So, so people think running nodes is complicated. It can be complicated depending on the kind of node it is, depending on what it does. These are not high intense processing nodes. This is just software that can be run on a $15 a month AWS account. But we have partnered with Noder.host, who can do it for you. They'll run the whole thing for you. But one node can also one piece of software can run up to 500 nodes. So one $15 a month hosting account can run 500 nodes. So it's not like really complex compute that's happening. Don't get me wrong, in time, those nodes will handle more and more as we move closer and closer to decentralization. So managed services is an option if you don't want to have to deal with any of the tech. I got to point this way. So what are we going to do with the money? This is where I think it gets kind of interesting. I mean, the first 5,000 nodes that we pre-sold to investors, I mean, that's all going towards development. But the ones we're selling now, 50% of the money is going to go directly into liquidity for the centralized exchanges and decentralized exchanges. And so we're talking about a pretty significant amount of liquidity in the beginning. And $300, up to $300 will go towards commissions for referrals. So the company's not really keeping that much. We're not trying to get rich on these nodes. We're trying to have deep liquidity for the token. And after the TGE event, we are going to continue taking 50% of every node, but instead of putting it into liquidity, we don't want to buy the token off the market because that would just irrationally increase the price. So what we want is just deeper and deeper and deeper liquidity. So the way we're going to do that, I don't know if you guys remember Rari. Rari imploded for other reasons, not because of their tech, but the EIP 4626 vaults are actually very cool. So the 20% of WOW tokens that are going from the community treasury are going to go on one of these vaults. And then every time we sell a node, 50% of that node sale will also go in that vault. So the way to think about it is if there was $1 in the vault and 10 node tokens, you'd be able to redeem a node token or a WOW token for 10 cents. Whereas if there were $10 in the vault and 10 WOW tokens, you'd be able to redeem a WOW token for $1. So as we keep stuffing more and more money into that vault, it supports the WOW token price. And of course, the vault will also seek yield in very safe formats on platforms like Aave and stuff like that. So it just continues to grow. So theoretically, the token should never trade less than it trades for, or it could be redeemed for in a vault is the idea for long-term stability and growth of the token. So this is, the next page will make more sense when you see it in numbers. I'm just going to show it to you graphically first, but this is the linear decay of tokens issued to the nodes. So obviously, the first year, the nodes get the most tokens. You know, and basically, there's pretty big drops for the first 5 years, but we didn't want to just keep that same percentage drop every year because it's going for 25 years. So the drop changes drastically after 5 years. So the nodes just keep getting tokens for a long time, a decent amount of them. It'll make more sense on this page. So basically, yeah, 19% of the tokens year one go to the nodes. You know, whether there's one node online or 5,000 nodes online or 20,000 nodes online, they'll split them up. About 16% year two, 12.7 year three. Then you see around here, it kind of stabilizes, you know, between 3%, and then takes another 5 years before it gets to 2%. So what do the nodes get paid for? So they obviously at launch, they get the WOW tokens immediately at launch on a daily basis. You know, the nodes will check for a heartbeat like 8 times a day. As long as your node has a heartbeat, it gets tokens. But it also gets a percentage of the fees from the launchpad, from the marketplace that we're going to be selling to Web 2 companies, to lawyers, to accountants, to everybody and a brother that needs an AI agent. It'll make revenue from that. Whether we built the AI agent or somebody else built the AI agent, it's going to get revenue from it. It'll get obviously fees for performing DePIN activities, fees for managed nodes. It'll get fees from external governance operations and fees from selling agents and services to real world use cases. You know, all those things I just described. So this is actually my favorite page because I want everybody here to either buy a node or sell a node. Buy a node or sell a node. This is easy money. So as soon as you create an account, you get a referral fee. You get up to $250 for every node sold. Okay, as long as you've sold at least 5 nodes. So 50, 100, 150, 200, 250. So if you have a large community or user base and you send out an email saying, let's say you're an exchange and you just said, we just signed a deal with WOW. We're going to be doing an initial exchange offering on our exchange. Go check them out. They go buy 1,000 nodes, you make $250,000. So not a bad deal. And you get $50 for every node that they refer to somebody else. So if they buy a node, they get their own referral link, they send it out, you get that second tier $50 for every other node. We are here to sell nodes if it's not obvious. Also, we went out of our way to make sure that our affiliates can offer a better deal than if you go directly to our website. I mean, obviously the best deal is to get me right after I'm done talking, but just as an example, affiliates will be able to offer free node referral codes to where people won't look at the email and say, you know what, I don't want to go through the affiliate link. I'd actually rather just go directly to our site. The affiliates will actually be able to offer better offers. So for those of you who have heard me talk before and they know that we had the Trump token and the Wars token, just an update on that. We are going to sunset those. The Wars project is still very much alive. We are still trying to buy InfoWars, so we can't sunset that one until afterwards. But eventually, both those in the Trump token very shortly after launch will be redeemable for WOW tokens, not necessarily at a 1-to-1 ratio, but we want the entire network running on WoW, and we want to also reward the people who had bought Trump or Boris tokens. So they'll be able to redeem those for WoW tokens, and then when you spend money on those sites or any of the other, meme type of sites that we end up launching on our own platform, WoW token will be the essential token for payments. It's just an update there. So what we're going to do with the money, more devs, market making sales, but most importantly, deep liquidity, pre-TGE, and then hardened, deepened, and support liquidity and token price post-TGE. So we're trying to partner with a lot of companies. We are open for business. We just got a deal with NotarHost. As a deepen example, we have offers for centralized exchanges. If you have a service or a passive interest in nodes, you want to sell me something, let's do a deal. You're going to have to buy nodes, but we can do a deal. And then Eliza OS, where'd they go? Logan, I thought you were going to come shake my hand. So for those of you guys who know Eliza, we did just strike a deal with them also. We're going to be adding our plugins to their system, so people who use Eliza will be able to automatically have e-commerce stores, generate memes.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. And they are going to be adding agents to our Web2 platform also.
That's cool. Yeah, it's going to work out.
Where's
Paul at?
I have no idea where Paul is. All right. So, yeah, so that's a very new announcement. And we're also going to partner with Virtuals. We're going to partner with everybody. So there's two ways to buy nodes now. One is to go to the website and scan that QR code. The other way is to talk to me, because you'll never get a better deal ever than cutting a deal with me today. I'm the CEO, and today's the first day selling, so I don't think it's going to get any better. I can go back to that QR code if you guys like, but anyway, that's my pitch. Thank you for listening.